I went to Everest Base Camp. So I've hiked to base camp, and it was a 8-day hiking upwards, or 7 days, and then 4 days hiking downwards. And during my hike, I was so tired. Okay, so it's like an 8-hour hiking, and you're exhausted, you're in altitude, you can't breathe. And I remember one of these days going up, I was just done. I was tired. Why am I doing this? Like, why am I going up? This is too much, What am I, this is not what I want to do. On the way up, I see a guy hiking down. He finished the trip. He's hiking down. He had one leg, and he was on
Crutches.
Yeah, and there was a lot of difficulties physically with him, and like he had also like one hand and a backpack, and he was on his own, and he was coming down singing, and he's like, and he's so happy. And I looked at him, and I swear to you, my body, like goosebumps. I was just like, I wanted to help him, right? Because that's my initial, I'm like, let's help him. And then the guy does not need any help. No, he's better than me. And that changed something in my mindset till date. Everything is possible, A, that's not a lie. Everything is possible. And B, it's all about mindset. It's all about what you believe you can do.
What if one trip could completely change your beliefs and the way you build your life?
Hello and welcome to Back into Alignment. Today we have an amazing guest, Fatima AlMattar, or Hello965, for a warm conversation on traveling to 117 countries. Yes, you heard well, 117 countries, building a trusted travel brand, handling burnout, and staying connected while living a life on the move. Fatima shares practical tips for confident travel, real stories behind the highlight reels and rituals that keep relationships alive. Welcome, Fatima. So excited to have you today in Back into Alignment podcast.
Thank you, Joali. Super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's exciting because, to be honest, like my ultimate goal is to travel the world. And I can't believe you have visited 117 countries. Wow, that is true pro.
I love it, and I always tell people to continue traveling, and that's like one of the goals why I do what I do, which is to inspire people to travel, so do it.
Yes, amazing. But this is actually something that you do for real and very professional. So I wanted to share to my audience the beautiful story of a woman from Kuwait that decided to pack and to travel the world and express all the emotions that you feel through the travels, write books, and inspire women to travel alone. It's actually a big one because coming from cultures that we have restrictions, from our families, from our just the society, being able to simply choose a different direction that actually aligns to your true purpose is actually, it takes courage and back into alignment.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. So my name is Fatima AlMattar, as you mentioned, and born and raised in Kuwait, a very conservative family. So my upbringing was very, I would say, traditional. And the one thing about me that I've always liked and still like, and it bothers people sometimes, that I'm very curious about a lot of things, and I always want to know more. And I never settle for, okay. And I'm like, but what if, what else is out there? So my curiosity, I would say, brought me to where I am today. And if I tell you something, I still sometimes don't believe I am doing what I'm doing, because I still think, I'm like, what if it all ends tomorrow? What if this is not reality, right? And when I started, social media was just the beginning at that time. So even everybody was like, what are you doing? There's so much doubt. There's so much, skepticism. People were skeptical, like, what are you doing? Where's this going? Like, leave it. So when I used to work in the corporate world. I did around 14 years of being in banking and wealth management and real estate, and it was fantastic. It was really good. I had a stable income, I had a successful career, and amazing bosses. Honestly, I had it all. But there was something in me that always wanted more. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to explore more. So when I did my MBA, I took time off, and that was the first time in my life to live abroad and out of my country. So I lived for 2 years in Spain, Madrid, did my MBA in IE Business School, and there I met the most interesting people, the most amazing people from different countries. And I remember, and I say the story a lot.
In Spanish?
Well, what? Sorry. Sí, claro que sí.
Un poquito.
So, I met this girl. She's from Curacao.
Yeah.
And when she told me she's from Curacao, and we had mutual friends from Kuwait, and I'm like, wait, what? What is Curacao? What do you mean? And how is it a country in the Caribbean? And why do you speak Spanish and Dutch? And I'm like,
Yeah.
and how do we have mutual friends? And that, Joarli, is the minute my brain was exploding. I just wanted to see more. I just wanted to see the world. And thankfully, like during my MBA, I decided to focus more on entrepreneurship. And that's my entrepreneurial side that kicked in. And I'm like, that's it. That's what I want to do for a living. And I want to like convert that, you know, curiosity and love for travel into a business.
Yes, I mean, it's easy to say, but it is kind of hard to put it together because it sounds like a dream career. Like, what do you do for a living? I travel the world, I document it, and I make money out of it. That sounds like a true purpose and very hard to actually leverage because everybody wants to do it, but not everybody knows how consistent you need to be.
Oh, absolutely.
Like in my case, telling you a little bit about my story, I do have an accent. I speak Spanish. I left Venezuela when I was 19 years old. Traveled the world for 21 years. But I haven't had the idea to put together my business around traveling. That would be a dream for me.
Yeah.
But somebody like you that just decided to step away from something that you are enjoying, it wasn't something from the discomfort. You actually enjoyed that
Yes,
world.
I did.
But you wanted to go into a next level of enjoyment for sure. I'm wondering, like, that particular girl that you met, it literally shifted your idea of traveling. But then at the same time, like, when did you decide to become Hello965? Tell me about that, Hello965.
Okay, so that's an interesting story, and I love it because it became a brand now. So when I was in Spain in the MBA, I already had a blog, and I used to write about travel and about like, and it was called something else. It was called FJ Bliss.
Okay.
So it was something about my happiness, and I would share things that I'm happy about. And then in Spain, people would call me Hello Kuwait.
Okay.
Hello Kuwait, hello Kuwait. And I'm like, hi, hello, I'm from Kuwait.
Yeah.
And then 965 is Kuwait country code.
Okay.
So when you dial, it's 965. So I'm like, okay, let's rebrand, you know, let's do Hello 965. And it
Okay.
started as a joke. Just
Right.
because what people call me, it's my nickname, right?
Yes.
Just, hello, this is a girl from Kuwait.
All right.
And it's also a friendly name. So, and then today, people in the street would call me hello.
965.
Hello, 965. And I'm
965
like,
is the last name.
and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? So it just became a brand. And I considered actually shifting the name. But then people were like, no, don't do it. Like, we know you for Hello 965. You should keep it.
Yeah.
And then I built on it. So I have a company that's called Hello Explorer.
Yeah.
And I have an account called Hello Cuisines. And I have an
nice.
account called Hello Hotels, which I just rebranded. But like, the Hello brand became a brand.
Okay.
So I have a Hello World company, Hello Explorer, Hello Cuisines, and it's all about
And
hello.
then you can literally go Hello 416
Seriously,
Toronto.
hello everything.
773.
There you go. So it could,
That's
it's
so-
just
yeah.
easy, right? And
It's actually is pure download from the universe. I truly believe that once you align yourself with your true purpose,
Absolutely.
the ideas just literally fall into place.
You're so right.
easily.
So right. And I remember we talked about this, like things happen for a reason, right? And then when you see, like, sometimes I sit and I wonder, I'm like, why is this happening to me, right? Like, why am I doing this? What's the purpose of what I'm doing? And then when you step back and when you look at everything, you're like, oh my God, we are connecting the dots. I see why this happened at that day, and I see why I'm doing what I'm doing and how it all connected. So absolutely.
Yeah, no, but you know what? We're back into Alignment Podcast. We're not only talking about the good times. I love to talk about the valleys of those adventures because we're not always on the summit looking at a beautiful view.
Yeah.
It takes effort to be there. And everybody wants to be a travel blogger and all of these, but at the end, it takes a particular, character to build. So my question is related to you. Firstly, from a position that I'm wondering, who supported you at the beginning? Because at the beginning, it sounds like a hobby, and you're like, this is not a hobby, this is actually my business.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, who you remember that it was supporting you at the very beginning, and you could actually thank them.
So, funny enough, I had very little support at the beginning. Everybody did not believe in it for two reasons. As I said, travel and social media was not a thing at the time, and they're like, this is a joke, right?
At the time, what year?
I think that was 2012, which is when Instagram started.
Yeah.
And then the second thing, I am from Kuwait, so culture is very, very strict. And for a female traveler to travel,
This episode is brought to you by Rejuve, your go-to for tools that support health, energy, and performance. Today, we're talking about the compression boots, perfect for fast muscle recovery and lymphatic drainage. These boots gently compress and release your legs to boost circulation, flush out lactic acid, and reduce soreness. You can learn more about this in the website, and also remember that we have a special code for a special discount.
on her own is very looked down upon. A lot of people were weirded out with what I was doing. And they're
Because
like,
you needed a
"Why?
guardian."
You need a guardian, you need a man to be with you, which still people do that sometimes. And a lot of them still believe in that. But the difficulties when I started is the question marks, right? I'm okay with live and let live. And this is what I've lived and my motto for life. And for example, my family is still a traditional religious family, but they now, today, respect completely what I do and they are supportive. But at the beginning, there were questions like, why are you doing this? What's the future? How are you leaving a stable job to do this? Like, what's going on? And I'm telling you, my dear, it was not easy. It was absolutely difficult. So many difficulties year after year from people, from friends, from families, from life in general. And then it's not always obviously positive and happy and dandy because traveling is expensive. So at the beginning, I funded myself, but then it got very expensive. So what was the solution? And then I started venturing out and I started
Reaching
looking
to
for
the community.
solutions.
Partnerships.
Absolutely. So it was, I would say, I'm very, very grateful because I had a very organic growth. It was not fast. It took me 15 years to get to where I am today. However, people now are lucky they get it fast, but they did not go through the same difficulties. And I think that's the difference. So
Yeah.
you learn from what you go through. And if I were to thank one person, honestly, or maybe like two people that come to my mind are my best friends who are still my friends till date. They did not maybe believe in what I wanted to do, but they supported me anyways. They're like, we
They
would
traveled with
listen.
you?
They did travel with me. They came with me on my first group trips when I launched them. And even if they were completely like, you know, not even in that same industry, they still listened to me. They listened to my nonsense. They listened to my crying. They listened to my problems. And these are the people that when I traveled, they are the only ones that have my itinerary and they are my emergency contact people. So
Yeah, well, thank you for
Seriously.
sure. For sure. Now, in terms of selecting the first place to start this journey, do you remember when was the first really place that you're like, I'm gonna start my journey here, documenting and see how people will connect to me?
yeah, so basically my first job as a serious documenting for social media was to Bali. And that was in 2014. I went to Bali and I reached out to a hotel and I emailed them. I'm like, hi, this is what I'm trying to do. And at the time I had very little followership. Like it's not massive at all. So I'm like, this is what I'm trying to do. I would love to come to your hotel and spend a couple of nights to showcase and write about you. And I was so positively like surprised. They're like, you're welcome. And
Okay.
we're happy to have you. And everything was sponsored. So that was absolutely amazing. Even if I show you my camera work at the time and my recording and how I would document, it's embarrassing to where I am today. So it's all gradual. So it's all good. So I remember that day. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
Bali. It's a beautiful place it's a magical place full of
Really
volcanoes. I truly believe. I traveled to about 42 countries, not even half of
That's
yours.
good.
But I just sense that places that have volcanoes, because the energy of the fire, it brings so much reawakening. So probably that was a very good point to start that business. And if you could mention one of your trips that was just challenging in a point that you saw something that you changed your belief system.
Oof. I've had plenty of those trips, but I went to Everest Base Camp. So I've hiked to base camp and it was a 8-day hiking upwards or 7 days and then 4 days hiking downwards. And during my hike, I was so tired, okay? So it's like an 8-hour hiking and you're exhausted, you're in altitude, you can't breathe. And I remember one of these days going up. I was just done. I was tired. Why am I doing this? Like, why am I going up? This is too much, you know? This is not what I want to do. On the way up, I see a guy hiking down. he finished the trip. He's hiking down. He had one leg, and he was on
Crutches.
yeah, and there was a lot of difficulties physically with him, and like he had also like one hand and a backpack, and he was on his own, and he was coming down singing, and he's like, and he's so happy. And I looked at him, and I swear to you, my body, like goosebumps. I was just like, I wanted to help him, right? Because that's my initial, I'm like, let's help him. And then the guy does not need any help. No, he's better than me. And that changed something in my mindset till date. Everything is possible, A, that's not a lie. Everything is possible. And B, it's all about mindset. It's all about what you believe you can do. So who am I with good health and great energy, and thankfully I'm privileged to like have a family and a business, to come and be like, oh, I'm so tired, like, no, come on, just push. And that changed a lot in my mindset in my head. So this is something I would never forget.
Yes, I can imagine. It's just the limitations are only in our mind, especially if you have the power in your heart. In terms of this adventure, you started as a content creator and slowly documenting your trips and reaching to partnerships, growing globally. How many followers you have now?
I think I reached 315,000 on Instagram. I have 180,000 on Snapchat. I have 320 on TikTok.
And beyond the numbers, to be honest, beyond the numbers, if you feel that love on the street, the people recognize, that's what matters, beyond the numbers. My question is, because you see now Hello965 is evolving to Hello Cuisine, which is a big part of traveling. I go for traveling and I was like, let's try the food and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Wondering, like, for 2026 is around the corner, how do you see yourself as a business owner running a very out-of-the-box adventure, and how do you see yourself stepping in a way that it will not limit your growth, but it will actually empower others?
So basically, I think the messaging behind Hello965 was never about the numbers, really. Like exactly what you mentioned. I think it's about quality. It's about how you affect other people. It's about inspiration. It's about making things easier for everyone to do it. And when they see someone like me, and especially from the Arab world, and they're like, oh, she's gone to Antarctica, why can't I go? That is my purpose, really. And then from a business perspective, I ventured into 3 different businesses from the Hello965 brand. So I have my travel consultancy, which I will continue to build on and, try to match the trending features of the market. So I still do travel consulting, and that's going to continue towards 2026. Planning trips, planning itineraries. We customize trips. I have, like, before coming here, I was planning for a couple to go to Norway to stay in a nice cabin panorama, see the northern lights. So this is going to continue to build and grow. And then the second business that also was born from Hello965 is I have a social media consultancy, which is basically based in Dubai. I help brands, hotels, businesses to understand more about social media, how to target the market, who to hire to work with, because now you can have someone with 5 million followers, but their effect is what?
Not engagement.
Nothing. You have the wrong crowd, you have the wrong, messaging. So the fact that I have this knowledge with business and social media is a definitely unique selling point. So that's something I'm capitalizing on. And the last one is content creation. So videography, photography, all of that is still in the market, and it's huge. So I was reading an article the other day that hotels are shying away from content creation and they're looking more into content strategy. And I agree, it should be like that. It was never just about who's going to stay at your hotel for 2-3 nights. It's about what are you going to get out of that. So I think these 3 things I'm going to continue to focus on towards 2026 and probably another 5 to 10 years, not just next year.
Yeah, no, very exciting. The growth of the business, especially in something that is not the typical industry to grow. And definitely you are showing something that brings authenticity and just the courage to do different and to be you, which is a big one. Not everyone has that power to tap in. And I'd love to have you again once you continue your travels and share more of your beautiful stories. especially those that you learn when you travel. I know is one of the strongest wisdom that we learn is traveling. And healing as well. I think it's for a woman, especially traveling heals our heart. So I will definitely encourage people to do that. I wanted to leave all, especially the girls, the teenagers, the women that are procrastinating traveling for the next season, for the next vacation, for the next opportunity that would never come. So what would you say to them to actually start increasing more of those times away and connecting more with nature?
Oh, look, I'm going to sound cliche, but don't wait. Like, now is the time. If you are healthy, just do it. You'll find a way, and the money comes back because you're investing in yourself. You're investing in your mental health. You're investing in your soul. You're investing in your brain. You're investing in your, like, everything, literally. When you go traveling, and then it depends on the type of travel, right? Not all trips are the same. So what do you need? Identify a goal of why do you need this trip, and just make it happen. Don't wait. That's it. Now is the time.
Today is the day.
Today's the day.
Well, thank you so much, Fatima. It was so nice to have you and inspiring. And also, this is a wake-up call for anyone to come back into alignment.